Two people walk onto the same dealership lot in 2026. They both have $120,000 to spend. One buys the right van and never looks back. The other spends 3 years reselling, upgrading, and regretting. The difference wasn't the budget, it was the category. Here's what this video does. I'm splitting the campervan market into two distinct buyer profiles, minimalists and comfort seekers, and telling you exactly which vans are built for each. Not based on marketing, based on real-world ownership, depreciation patterns, and what actually breaks down at mile 40,000. If you're somewhere between I just want something reliable and I want a moving apartment, this video tells you which one you actually are, and which vans will make you happy 5 years from now, not just the week you sign the paperwork. Section 1. The split the industry actively avoids. The campervan industry in 2026 doesn't want to have this conversation, because the moment buyers understand it, they stop impulse buying. The market is divided, not by price, not by brand, but by philosophy of use. Buying the wrong philosophy is the fastest way to destroy $30,000 to $50,000 in value within 24 months. That's not a guess. That's a pattern that repeats with brutal consistency. A minimalist buyer wants mobility, mechanical simplicity, low overhead. Space is a trade-off they've already accepted. A comfort seeker wants a residential experience on wheels. Real bed, real shower, real climate control. Constraints are a trade-off they haven't accepted and won't. Here's where people get trapped. Most buyers try to find one van that satisfies both profiles. That van doesn't exist. When manufacturers attempt it, you get compromises that make both profiles miserable. Not enough storage for the minimalist, not enough headroom for the comfort seeker. A vehicle that does two things adequately and neither thing well. And here's the part nobody says out loud at the dealership. If you walk in undecided, the salesperson will identify your profile before you do and sell to it. That decision gets made with or without your input. Better to make it yourself. Section 2. The minimalist vans, built for freedom. If you've ever heard someone say, "I bought a van and it changed my life," 90% of the time they're a minimalist. Here's what they actually drove, and here's the number most of them don't share publicly. The minimalist market in 2026 runs on 3 platforms: the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter, the Ford Transit, and the Volkswagen California. They're not interchangeable. Choosing the wrong one for your situation is a $20,000 mistake dressed up as personal preference. Ford Transit, the honest workhorse. The Ford Transit is the minimalist's best value play in 2026, full stop. A well-converted used Transit from 2021 or 2022 has already absorbed its steepest depreciation. Post-pandemic correction hit Transit-based builds hard. Prices dropped 20 to 35% from their 2021 peaks. That build selling for $110,000 2 years ago, you're finding it at $60,000 to $85,000 today. That's a real buying window, and it won't stay open indefinitely. But the reason minimalists love the Transit isn't price, it's the ecosystem. Any mechanic in North America can work on the EcoBoost 3.5-liter. Parts are standardized. Upgrade components are universal. If you want to travel without being tethered to a dealership service center, the Transit gives you that. The Sprinter doesn't. The trade-off is real, though. Factory insulation is mediocre for cold weather use without aftermarket upgrades. Standing height is tight for buyers over 6 feet. Build that into your inspection checklist, because sellers won't mention it. Mercedes-Benz Sprinter, minimalism with a premium tax. The Sprinter remains the most popular custom conversion platform globally. But let's talk about what people gloss over. The Sprinter charges a premium not just to buy, but to own. In 2026, that premium has a new layer. In European cities, London, Paris, Berlin, older Sprinter diesels now face daily low-emission zone charges. In central London alone, that runs 15 to 25 pounds per day. For extended European travel, that's not a footnote. That's a recurring operational cost. For a US-based minimalist with diesel confidence and a $90,000 plus budget, the Sprinter 2500 in 144-inch high roof configuration is still the benchmark. Better range, deeper build community, an aftermarket ecosystem so large you can spec almost anything. Who should avoid it? First-time buyers under $75,000 who aren't financially prepared for the Mercedes service structure. The Sprinter rewards preparation. It punishes the unprepared. Volkswagen California Ocean, Europe's quiet benchmark. The VW California Ocean is consistently underestimated by North American buyers and consistently correct for European minimalists. Built on the Transporter platform, city-compatible, standard parking, drives like a normal vehicle. For a European couple doing seasonal travel and weekend escapes, the California is as close to purpose-built as the minimalist category gets. The pop-top roof is genuinely clever engineering, converts sleeping configuration without sacrificing daytime headroom, folds to standard roofline for urban driving. You're not giving up drivability for livability. That balance is harder to achieve than it looks. But here's the mistake I see minimalists make constantly, something that goes against everything the van life for less community preaches. We'll get to it after the comfort seeker section because it applies to both profiles, and I want you to have the full picture before I make the argument. Section 3. The comfort seeker vans, built for living. Let me tell you what a comfort seeker actually needs and why several of the most marketed vans in this category are quietly failing owners in year 2, not because they're badly designed, because they were sold to the wrong buyer. The comfort seeker market in 2026 is dominated by factory-integrated Class B motorhomes, Winnebago Revel, Airstream Interstate 24, Thor Sequence, and the Pleasure-Way Lexor TS. These aren't converted cargo vans. These are vehicles where the plumbing, electrical, HVAC, and appliances are engineered and warranted as a single integrated system. That distinction matters more than any spec sheet. Why integration changes everything and where the fantasy breaks. A custom conversion, however well built, requires managing multiple systems from multiple vendors, solar from one source, inverter from another, water system from a third. When something fails on a Tuesday morning in rural Montana, diagnosing interactions between systems you didn't design is a genuine problem, especially when you're not near the original builder. This is where the comfort seeker fantasy breaks. A factory Class B eliminates that complexity. One warranty conversation, not 3. That's not marketing language. That's a practical reality of long-term use that saves time, money, and relationship capital. Winnebago Revel, the outdoor comfort seeker's answer. The Revel is a 4x4 Class B on the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter platform, and it's the most serious capability upgrade available in Class B right now. What makes it compelling for comfort seekers specifically isn't the four-wheel drive, it's the Spire bed platform, converts from gear garage to full queen sleeping configuration, and a thermal management system that handles serious temperature variance without constant manual adjustment. New Revels run for $165,000 to $185,000 in 2026, but used Revel inventory has increased over 20% since 2023 as the first wave of post-pandemic buyers exit the market. 2021 to 2022 units are now available in the $120,000 to $135,000 range. For a comfort seeker who wants outdoor capability alongside residential quality, there is no better integrated option at that price. The Winnebago Revel keeps surfacing in serious buyer research for a reason. It earns its reputation. Airstream Interstate 24, the premium brand bet. The Airstream Interstate is the aspirational purchase for comfort seekers who value resale identity. That's not a criticism. Brand identity has measurable resale value, and Airstream holds it better than almost anyone in this category. But here's what to understand before writing the check. You're paying a meaningful premium over the underlying Mercedes-Benz Sprinter platform, the same platform Winnebago, Pleasure-Way, and others use. The Interstate's advantage is fit, finish, and a decades-long resale floor, not superior mechanical architecture. For a retiree buying once and holding 10+ years, that resale stability is a legitimate argument. For a buyer selling in 3 to 5 years, the premium is harder to justify on numbers alone. Know which one you are. The Airstream doesn't care either way. Thor Sequence, the most interesting entry point in 2026. The Thor Sequence isn't getting enough attention, and that's a buyer's advantage right now. Built on the Ford Transit platform, priced between $100,000 and $115,000 new, it's the first serious attempt to bring integrated Class B comfort below the $120,000 threshold. Thor traded the premium base vehicle for a better interior build quality ratio than anything else at this price.
For families and retirees who want integrated comforts without a $150,000 plus outlay, this is the most compelling new option in the category. The caution: Thor's service network has been historically inconsistent. Build quality in the sequence has improved versus earlier Thor products, but it's not at Winnebago's level yet. Buy certified pre-owned with documented service history. That paper trail is your protection. Pleasure-Way Lexor TS, the underrated standard. The Pleasure-Way Lexor TS is the most underrated Class B in North America. Canadian-built, interior craftsmanship and system integration that consistently exceeds its modest profile. Comfort seekers who prioritize quiet driving, efficient use of space, and above-average construction quality rate Pleasure-Way above comparably priced competitors across the board. If you're doing serious due diligence and haven't driven a Pleasure-Way Lexor TS, your research is incomplete.
It belongs on every comfort seeker's shortlist. For European buyers, the Hymer B-Class 680 occupies the equivalent position. Premium integrated build, price point below the top aspirational brands, dealer network across Germany, France, and the UK. Hard to beat on total value. Section 4. The Nuclear Insight. Here's the statement that's going to start an argument, but if you're serious about this purchase, you need to hear it straight. DIY builds and budget conversions are financially irresponsible for most buyers. Not all buyers, most buyers. And here's the evidence. Meet Dave, 58, recently retired, genuinely excited about van life. He buys a 2019 Transit cargo base for $38,000, spends $18,000 on a budget conversion, $56,000 total. He's proud of himself. 18 months later, the solar is undersized. He's shore power dependent at every campsite. The insulation fails in winter. His wife is cold, resentful, and not hiding it. The mattress platform creaks. The water pump has failed twice. He's put $11,000 in upgrades into a van trying to fix what the original build got wrong. Year 3, Dave lists the van. His $67,000 all-in investment sells for $44,000. He lost $23,000. He also lost 2 winters of good trips, and his wife's enthusiasm for the lifestyle never fully recovered. Here's what nobody says about that story. Dave didn't fail because he was cheap. He failed because he overestimated his tolerance for discomfort and underestimated the cost of exiting a bad asset. Most DIY buyers overestimate their tolerance for discomfort. The dream holds up in summer. It collapses when the first real winter hits. Budget buyers rarely budget for exit. They price the entry, they ignore the resale math, and then they're trapped in an asset they've stopped enjoying, trying to recover money from a buyer pool that's shrinking. Minimalism is a lifestyle, not a budget strategy. Get that distinction right before you buy. Budget builds don't just destroy your comfort, they destroy your resale velocity. And they have a spouse problem because comfort seekers in disguise almost always have a partner who was never fully bought in on the compromise. When the conversion fails, it's not just a financial loss, it's a relationship stress test nobody signed up for. The buyer who spent $90,000 on a well-integrated boutique conversion, something like a Storyteller Overland, Mode, or a properly spec'd Sprinter high roof build, holds value better, lives better day to day, and exits the asset cleanly when the time comes. The cheapest van is almost never the cheapest van to own. That math almost always works in reverse. Section 5. The Clear Map. Who buys what? No hedging from here. Here's exactly who buys what and why. You are a minimalist buyer if you plan to travel more than 150 days per year and parking flexibility is non-negotiable. You have genuine mechanical confidence, not theoretical willingness. You travel solo or as a couple. You are not reliant on full-time climate control. You can park in an unfamiliar city without planning 2 days ahead. Buy Ford Transit high roof or mid-roof conversion from a reputable builder, 2020 to 2022 vintage. Current used market pricing is the best buying window in 5 years. or VW California Ocean if European and city compatibility is a hard requirement. Avoid DIY builds under $50,000 unless your skill set is real, not aspirational. Also, avoid Ram ProMaster-based conversions for European travel. Parts availability outside North America is limited. You'll feel it at the worst possible time. You are a comfort seeker if you plan 60-plus consecutive days on the road and will not compromise on sleep, climate, or cooking. You're a retiree treating this as a mobile home. You're a family with kids who need functional daily living space. You want one warranty conversation, not 3. Buy Winnebago Revel if outdoor capability matters alongside comfort. Pleasure-Way Lexor TS if value to quality ratio is the primary metric. Hymer B-Class 680 if you're European and want the most established dealer network. The edge case. Families. Families consistently identify as minimalists because they want to manage costs. Then they discover that 2 adults and 2 kids in a standard Sprinter high roof is genuinely hard past week 3. If you're a family, look at extended-length Class B configurations in the US or the Hymer B-Class 680 in Globe Car Camp Scout in Europe. The extra cost almost always pays for itself in longevity of use. Compromising on family space is not a problem that resolves itself with time. It compounds. Here's where I land. No softening. The campervan market in 2026 rewards buyers who know themselves, not buyers who know the brands. The people who get burned aren't intelligent, they're undecided. They walk in hoping the van will resolve the question of how they want to live. It won't. The van amplifies whatever you already are. If you're a genuine minimalist, someone for whom freedom of movement is worth every trade-off, buy a van built for that. Don't get seduced by the Airstream badge or the Winnebago Revel spec sheet if what you actually need is a reliable, fixable vehicle that gets out of your way. If you're a comfort seeker, if you know honestly that you will resent waking up cold, cooking in a cramped space, or queuing for a campsite shower, own that. Buy an integrated Class B. A Pleasure-Way Lexor TS or a used Revel at today's corrected market price is one of the better large purchases available in 2026. The best van isn't the most expensive one. It isn't the most popular one. It's the one that matches who you actually are, not who you hope you'll be somewhere on a mountain road 6 months from now. Get that right. Everything else follows. If you're still undecided between 2 specific vans, that tells me something. Drop both names in the comments. Tell me your profile, your budget, and where you're planning to travel. I answer directly. And if you already know which profile you are, minimalist or comfort seeker, say it, because the comment section on this video is going to be more useful than most buying guides you'll find anywhere else.